75 hard in the 3 other phases. And the start of January, I'm on tomorrow's day 4 for me. When I look at myself last year, I was on, day 30 or, 31, I guess, today, right? And so it's like, is that wrong or is that right? No, it's just I'm on my path. And was I more fired up and more committed and didn't have to restart in the first month last year? I did. I kept going through January, and I made mistakes other places where I restarted. But you know what, Carmen? I'm just like, it's time to let go of these vices that are just full of negativity and full of criticism and controlling and efforts around doing the right versus the wrong. And I'm fucking done with it. And it's like, because that literally carries no weight for me. There's no benefit for me to think that way. There's literally no upside. And that was part of like how I chose not to drink, was like, when I go out and drink, do I like, how much percentage of this time that I'm spending drinking are good quality impacts? And I was like, maybe 5% of the times that I drink, does something actually good happen in my life where I'm like, shit, I'm glad I went out and drank. 5%, maybe. And that's generous. So, anyway, long winded answer to that extra phase and all that stuff. So, if you want to know the details and why it's important to do the entire Live Hard program, it took me 3 years of trying 75 hard, just different times of the year, to actually commit and to complete it in the calendar year. Was in 2022. And I'm committed to doing it again this year because I know that when I'm done 75 hard, I'm going to be like, oh shit, day 76? Or is it day 1 of phase 1? Is it day 2, day 3? Is it phase 2? Is it phase 3? And it's like, it allows me to continue.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Of course.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see where you go. I'm really excited to see how much growth is going to happen in the next year, the next 3 years, and I have a feeling you're going to continue. Whether you continue with 75 hard the rest of your life, what I know is that the impact it's had on you will never leave. It'll be there forever, and I'm excited to see what comes into your life because of this. I'm really, really
Thanks.
excited. And
Yeah, and that's the cool thing. That's the great thing about being a human, is like, we get to make choices, and I get to choose whenever I want. If I want to drink again, I can choose to literally crack a beer right now if I wanted to, right? But I'm choosing not to, and I'm holding that higher standard other than just myself, right? Because I know, like you said, Carmen, like, you saw who I was when I was drinking, and you see who I'm at now, and we know that those paths aren't aligned, right? Those are not the same things that I want here versus here. So for any listeners out there that are going through these kind of things, is ask for support, ask questions. If you guys want to DM me on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram and shoot me a DM, and I would love to even organize a call if you have questions. My Instagram is hugh.realestate. If you want to reach me, you can shoot me a DM. I'm more than happy to support anybody. You can reach out to Carmen, comment on her podcast or on her channel, and say, how do I find this guy Hugh? He's super handsome and I want to go on a date with him. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, no, totally, Carmen. And just for any of your listeners out there, and male, female, whoever's interested in learning more about this journey, I'm here to support anyone that is interested.
thank you for
Of
that.
course.
Um, yeah, and do you want to talk about your plans for the future? There's some exciting things coming up for you.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to talk about before we end
Well,
here?
I think this role is getting reversed here, because you've inspired me, Carmen. What you're doing with your traveling and your podcasts and social media, and not just that, but like, the reason that that's impacting me is because it's authentic. It's true, and it's who you are as a person, Carmen. And the rest of the world gets to see that. And it's inspiring me to go after new dreams, new possibilities, and new goals and dreams that I want in my life. And so I've decided to move to New Zealand. My company, EXP Realty, is the #1 growing brokerage in the world globally. And they are, for an easy analogy, is like Uber disrupted the taxi industry, right? Netflix disrupted Blockbuster, because they took this old school traditional model that was working, that is no longer an actual working model now that we have technology and resources through the internet. That's what EXP is doing. EXP is disrupting the traditional brick and mortar brokerages like Remax and Century 21, and so on and so forth around it being a debt free company. EXP is the only realty company that's debt free, because all of our stuff is through the metaverse. We have a metaverse online where we can get agent support, get training. We've got over 80 hours of live training every week. We've got access to managing brokers. For an example, I'm here in Vancouver and I'm going to move to New Zealand and transfer my license and stay with EXP in New Zealand because it opened up there in the second quarter of last year. And I'm going to just go sell houses in New Zealand. And that's like, there's no limitations with companies that are disrupting the markets, whether it's a market of taxis or movies or real estate, right? And that is something that I'm taking advantage of because I know that I love building relationships with people and I really enjoy being able to help families get into their forever homes and upgrade from their condos to a townhouse or buy a detached house. And that process and that journey of supporting other families through that purchasing process or selling a home is a lot of stress. It's a lot of headache. It's a lot of cleaning. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of legality stuff. And do I like that side of the stuff? Not really, but I mean, nobody really does. But I know that I enjoy more going for showings and taking the kids out and seeing the backyards and talking about the schools and the communities. And so EXP is just such an impact in the industry as a global company that it's allowed me to have this freedom to pick up my life and move across the world and continue my lifestyle and meet new people and meet new connections and see family that I haven't seen in over 10 years and just this completely new environment. And to sell a house here in Vancouver is going to be about 85 to 90% the exact same as selling a house in New Zealand. The only difference is a couple of contracts and a couple of terminologies, and it's not going to be the exact same, but the rule of thumb around the business and how to operate as a successful agent is still the same basics. And so I'm very thankful to have the environment that I was around when I first got into the real estate space, joining a team, finding somebody to coach me and invest in that team so that I can learn and know the industry and grow. And so that's given me the confidence to do this. And on top of that, you, Carmen, have given me that confidence to know that I can just go and just say, fuck it, I'm going to move to New Zealand. And sorry if I'm not supposed to swear on your podcast. I don't really know what the deal is here, Carmen, but
we can swear. It's no problem.
awesome. Well, I don't want to, steer away all the kids or anything, but just want to be myself too. So I just said, fuck it, I'm going to move to New Zealand. And I made that decision within like a day and a half. Mom was like, hey, Christmas is around the corner and, I'd love for you to go meet Carmen in New Zealand and maybe we can just like, your Christmas present would be like a little flight there and back and just come back in a month. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. I was looking at flights. I was going to book a round trip there and back for a month. And then the next day, I talked to Phil and my mentors around EXP and just taking a little vacation to New Zealand. And then, next thing you know, he's like, dude, EXP just opened there like literally like 4 or 5 months ago. Like you could just go there and sell houses if you want. And I was like, okay, I'm going to think about that. And then like 6 hours later, I'm like, yep, I'm going to go. So that was all part of the journey.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's funny. My decision to kind of move, or to at least to travel for a year is how it kind of, when that decision came to me, you were the first person I told actually. And
Really? I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah. And I had the epiphany that day and I was like, it just came out of nowhere. And then I just, ruminated on it for a few hours and I was like kind of doubting myself, going back and forth. But within that day, and I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody until I figure out what I want to do. I need to think about it on my own first before I get other opinions. And then you came over like a couple hours after I had this epiphany and I'm like, you guess what? Guess what I'm doing? and
Totally.
and just like seeing you and I was like, I wasn't even planning to tell you or you and mom were together and it just like I was like, no, I'm crystal clear. And I think that
Yeah.
it's funny you had the same thing because I think that we are very in tune with our intuition, because we have very
Totally.
quite a spiritual upbringing. We're very personal development, very go for your goals, and that side of it. And then we're also very spiritual, very in tune with our who we are as a person, what our intuition is telling us, and it just gets easier and easier. So I'm so happy that you're able to follow what feels right for you
Mhm.
in that same way, but in your own way. And it's really beautiful to see that
Thanks, Carmen.
unfold for you. And I'm so excited to see you in New Zealand,
I
because for those of you who
know.
don't know,
Let's
I'm going to New
go.
Zealand too.
I know. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. Awesome.
Yeah. Hugh, do you have anything else that you want to share? Is there anything else that's lingering that you feel like anybody should listen to right now about anything?
Not really. I think we've touched on a lot of the key aspects that I think are, or at least I hope are impactful for others. I think again, I just want to reach out and just say, hey, the best thing that you can do is to connect with those people that are going through the things that you're going through. Find people that are looking for those results. Find people that have those results and try to connect with them. Try to get in front of them. Try to join them and introduce yourself. Go to networking events. Go to creativity, pottery classes if you like making pottery, or painting classes like you were doing, Carmen. Going to artist competitions, or for me, it was going to networking events and seminars, and the thing that you want, that's important for you as the listener, like whatever's important to you, surround yourself, go around, find those people, find those events, find those networks, and introduce yourself to them. See people that you like, see someone that connects with you. If you see them speaking on the stage, or they're just sitting beside you, and you get a little bit of a connection, and you see some alignment together in that goal that you're going towards, ask them for their phone number, ask them for their Facebook, ask them for their Instagram, and stay in connection with them, because the people that are like that and have what you want, or are going to what you want in your life, they want to share it with you, right? Like they want to have you be successful. They want to see you grow. They want to see you have a good life, because I know from my experience that, like, this guy that came up and talked to me about drinking I've never met in my life, that like made me feel so good to hear this person say to me, like, hey, I've had a family of alcoholics, I've had this struggle in my life, and like you're inspiring me. And like, so I took that guy's phone number and I followed up with him, and he didn't follow up with me. I followed up with him. And so, like, you'd be really surprised at how many people out there want to support you and give you a helping hand. And so all you have to do is just let people know, talk to them, show them, be vulnerable. And that's not easy, but you got to do it anyway. So it just, to tie it all together is just embrace the uncomfortable, be okay and be comfortable, like learn to find comfort in discomfort. And so feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Carmen, leave us a comment. Just try to connect with us or anyone else that's out there in your environment that you think is going to be impactful for you, and I think that will get you to the next step and start that compounding effect to where you want to go.
Mm. Yes. Yes, yes, a million times. Um, One thing I have written down here, just something that I want to say, because it was to something that you were saying way
Yeah.
earlier in our conversation. And it's a quote that I heard in Next Level Breakthrough, leadership training. Uh, let's see. Today's ceiling is tomorrow's floor. Something like
Yes.
that, or
Yep. That's right.
yesterday's
Today's
ceiling is
ceiling
today's
is
floor.
tomorrow's floor. Exactly. And that's like that 1% rule, right? Like I know yesterday that I could do 54 push-ups, but today I'm going to do 55.
Yeah.
And that yesterday was my top. And the next day, it's where I get to start from, because I know I can do that. I know I can complete this. I am successful at accomplishing that. So I like day 76. I know I can do 75 hard. Well, let's see if I can do phase one. Oh, shit. I can do phase one. Let's see if I can do phase two. Oh, shit. I just went 2 months without drinking. Oh, shit. Next month, it's a year. It's like, holy crap. So it's like that continuation and that environment is you hit it right on the head, Carmen. Good job.
Thank you. And thank you so, so much for being on this interview with me. You're my third interview, and this is something that I've been looking forward to since I started the podcast. You're a huge inspiration to me every single day. I'm so blessed to have someone like you as a role model for me. and it's really amazing. We get to be role models for each other. And I'm excited to grow with you, and I'm excited to have you on here again in the future and see what breakthroughs have come to talk about next. And I love you so much. Oh, and he just got